All right, welcome back to the Are You in the Book podcast. My name is Eric Wilbenaw, the president of the Baseball Bluebook, and today we are excited to be joined with Coach Brewster down at Texas A&M at Texarkana, the Eagles. Coach, how are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing really great. It's an exciting time of the year, getting started. You're having a great year already. We're going to get into a lot of those things today. But first of all, I want to encourage everyone to make sure that you are subscribing to our channel. We're on YouTube, also on Apple Podcast, as well as Spotify. And make sure that you are downloading the Baseball Bluebook app found on the Apple and Google Play Store. It's what this is all about. It's Are You in the Book? And that's what we're going to talk today to Coach Brewster about. Coach, let's do a quick introduction. Tell us who you are, and then we'll get into your journey of how you got to where you are today.
Absolutely. Chase Brewster. I think a lot of people in the baseball world know me as the founder of Sticks Baseball out of Arkansas, which eventually would go on to be the White Sox scout team. Had a very, very just dreamlike situation with the Sticks. Felt like I had one of the best jobs in the world, and got to work with some incredible people and be around just some incredible mentors like Steve Landers when we started it. And 10 years later, that all kind of turned into me having my dream job here at Texas A&M Texarkana. So I'm a distinguished alumni of the school. The school means a lot to me. The community, it's where I was obviously born and raised here in Texarkana. So love the community. Me and my wife, we tell people all the time we could live anywhere we want. We chose to stay here. So we love the town, the school, the community, and still have a lot to do with the Sticks, but have kind of transitioned more over to the Texas A&M Texarkana side of my career as we kind of enter that next phase, and it keeps me busy. So anybody that thinks being a head baseball coach is about finding good players in baseball is sadly mistaken. I have discovered there's my day is filled with a lot of fires to put out that have nothing to do with baseball. So we've got a good thing going here. It's been a blessing, and we're excited to keep it going here.
I think that's exciting, and I have the opportunity to talk to a lot of coaches from all different levels. And one of the things that I find at the NAIA, maybe the Division III JUCO programs, is the head coach is really the CEO of the entire program. They don't have a lot of the supporting staff around, kind of offloading some of the things. You're kind of it. And building that program from fundraising to scheduling to a lot of the things. So we certainly can appreciate all of the things that you do and the fires that you put out. So let's get into really about the program. What are you trying to establish? This being your first year, I know you had a kind of the history of the Sticks and coming in a little bit different, right? You said it's your dream job. Coming from that program, talk a bit about what you want to establish there at TAMU and the legacy that you want to establish and create there.
I took over, I think it was November 15th when we got the job. So we had one day left in practice before the 8-week window shut down. So, it's not even a first year. It's a first, week. It feels like November 15th was last week, but they had a great staff here. Jack Skinner stayed here. Jack played here for 4 years. He had coached here for 3. So Jack has been awesome. Drew Bumgarner played here, and he's our pitching coach. He's phenomenal. Our kids love him. I tell the story all the time. When I got the job, they said, you have a 22-year-old pitching coach. And I go, this job sucks. Like, this isn't going to work. And so I meet with everybody on my first day, and I say, hey, write down what you like about the program, what you don't like, where are we trying to get to? And 22 of our 26 pitchers said, in one way or another, if Drew leaves, we're leaving. So I bring Drew in and I go, what's your story? Well, first of all, he didn't believe that the kids wrote this down. I'm like, look, here it is. Here's the paperwork. He goes, well, my dad's been a head junior college coach. I think it was for like 20 years. And I go, he knows more than the average bear. He gets it. So Drew's been phenomenal. Jack's been phenomenal. We brought Wade Elliott with us. Wade played for us on our first Sticks team. He was a top 100 player in the country out of high school. went to Missouri, ended up graduating from Louisiana Tech, but he was with the Miami Marlins last year on the minor league side as a hitting instructor. So, the four of us have, worked really well. It kind of built something I think that, our kids are excited about coming to the yard every day and have a lot of tools to be successful. It takes more than one voice. It takes more than one coach. Not everybody's going to love the head coach, especially when we're trying to build a culture. But we got Wade and Jack on the offensive side. We have Drew on the pitching side, and I think what we're trying to build is a situation where everybody talks about development, and development is this word that gets thrown around. And I think people assume all colleges have good coaches. I think people assume if you go to college, you automatically develop. But we're trying to do little things along the way to make sure our kids that aren't playing this year with our 23 seniors that'll be able to play right away next year. You don't just take an entire year off of playing because someone's older than you or better than you and think the next year you're just automatically a better player. So we put up little stop gates, little check marks that we're trying to make as a staff to build something for next year. And when you ask the question of what we want the legacy to be or what we're trying to build here, I think that's hard to answer. And not to be cliche, but we want to win as many games as we can this year because that's awesome. But taking over in the middle of a year, we brought in 13 players at break, and we want to win now. But with 23 seniors, we want to win next year too. And winning's addicting. We're off to the best start in school history. We're 12-1. Our only loss was to a really good Friends team, 2-1 to the pitcher of the year in their conference last year, who we made one bad pitch, and they hit a home run in the seventh. It was 1-1 in the seventh. They hit a home run. We grounded into a double play to end the game. So the night before, we talk about what you want to build here. The night before, we were down 2. We hit a 3-run walk-off home run to win it. The game we lost, I think we all thought we were going to win. And I think all 13 games we played, we thought we were going to win. And that when we took the job in November, that's what we wanted to build. We wanted to build something where we believed in ourselves. We believed we could win here. LSUS and Houston Victoria are the premier of our league. LSUS #1 in the country right now. They're all who we're trying to be, but we don't want a group that doesn't feel like we can compete with them either. We're all chasing them, but that doesn't mean we have to be scared of them either. And that's what we wanted to start our legacy with now. And, right now we're just focused on how we can get guys in to keep it going next year. I think we've had a better start than we could imagine, honestly. Would love to be 13-0, but 12-1 will work. And then just trying to keep that going right now and bring in guys next year that when we're at this time, we're 13-0 instead of 12-1.
Great. That's great. Now you brought up development. You brought up kind of the fit, the culture, and winning. I think the real balance and talking with a lot of coaches is having that winning culture, but also being able to have the development because year after year you're bringing in new players, you're graduating them, and the NAIA level is also a little unique, right? It's academic focused. Typically, you're bringing in players that are looking to be at the program for 4 years. Talk a bit about kind of the NAIA level, the academic focus, the culture, but kind of tying them all together because you can say that you want a lot of things, but there's always seems to be one thing that kind of outweighs the other. From your perspective, talk about kind of bringing that balance or which one is going to kind of take over, and how do you as a coach kind of bring that back to what you want to do with the program?
I think if we have to pick one thing, what I really want at this point in my career is we want guys that are happy for each other. We all want to do well. I want the articles written about me. All the players want them written about them. I want to win coach. They want to win player of the year. And that's not like something we talk. I'm just saying human nature is we all want the best
Right.
for us.
Yep.
Not just me, but all of us. You want to win podcast of the year. We all want uh, to be, nominated and recognized for being successful. But I think we do not have a lot of people in this world, not just our program, but a lot of programs that are happy for each other, genuinely happy for each other. And our success with the Six made me in a financial and a professional space to where I only wanted to do stuff at 35. I only wanted to help people that couldn't help me back. Like I don't never want to do stuff for someone. I don't want to come on this podcast because what you might do for me, or I don't want to go, take someone to dinner because they might do something. I wasn't at that part. Well, now I'm starting back at the ground level professionally because I've, went up a level. But it's kind of the same mindset. Like everything I do is genuine because I don't have to, I don't have to worry. I'm not insecure. I'm not a person of, me. I want all my friends to do well. I want all my assistant coaches to be head coaches one day. And that's how I look at it. I go to our basketball coach, our softball. I try to help any way I can. And that's what I really want our players to be. Of course, I want everybody to win player of the year. I want everybody to be pitcher of the year. But I genuinely, if we have two guys in the running and player A wins it, I will be disappointed if player B is like, not just as happy as player A. I
Yeah.
will be I will be very upset if a senior lost his spot to a freshman and only wants the freshman to fail. I just think for us to do what we want to do, we have to get 30, 35 kids that are happy for each other. Happy when the next guy gets a hit, happy when the guy playing behind them does something well. And, I think those kind of people do well in the classroom. I think they'll do well in the community. I think they'll do well, on the field. So, do I want guys that are just willing to give their position away and just excited to lose their spot or somebody to do better than them? Absolutely not. We want competitive players. That's the business we're in. But I just really want to be a part of a genuine group of kids that are excited to come to the field every day, and excited to learn from each other. And I think pride plays a huge part in that. We so often worry about being embarrassed or what social media will think, our friends will think, instead of just putting all that to the side, being genuinely happy for people, being servant leaders. Our conference schedule is what it is, and our conference is one of the best conferences at the top in NAI, LSUS, LSUA, Houston Victoria, Louisiana Christian. Hopefully, people feel like we're in that conversation. There are teams at the bottom that you feel good about when you play them respectfully. And we told them last week we kind of have a weird stretch where we play some of those games early. And I told everybody last week we need to be happy if we jump up early and a younger kid goes in and they do well. Like, don't coach, why are you taking me out? It's only the third inning. Well, I'm taking you out because the
Yeah.
score dictating our play. So we talked about it. I don't know that it's genuinely went. I don't know that we've gotten our point across yet because we've only been here since November. We can't
Yeah.
change everything. When they say Rome wasn't built in a day, they weren't lying. They weren't. I don't know how long it took Rome to get built. Nobody ever says, but it was a long time. And we're trying, and we have the good thing about our program is we have 23 seniors that get it. We have 23 seniors that would love to play. I can't bat 23. I can't pitch 23 in a game. They understand that. But I do think we have a supporting cast of guys that are very appreciative for what we're trying to do here long term. And we really, we talk about building something that when they come back as husbands and fathers with their family for alumni weekend, they're proud of. And they go, Dad played here. And Dad was, hopefully we put up a banner and they go, hey, Dad was on that team. And when I was here, our field was, a city park and it was this. And, we break ground on Thursday on a new $35 million athletic complex that I think everybody will be proud of when it's done, because it'll be new and shiny. But, we want to build something that doesn't reflect win-loss, doesn't reflect, anything other than the process of which we got there. Yeah, we might win a lot of games, but we might graduate a lot of people. Those are the things we're supposed to do. We did all of those things because we did the little things to do that. And that's what we're trying to build currently. And as far as the developmental side of the question, I think developmental, at least in my mind, is when we sit in our coaching staff, we go, okay, our 12 that are going to play positionally, we know they're going to play. They know they're going to play. What do we do with the other 8 to 10 that we're trying to get ready for next year? What can we do in practice to get those guys ready? And we have a rule, and I don't know what other people do. I have mentors that I reach out to, Sheets there at Gwinnett and Eric
Yep.
Peterson at Benedictine, guys that we all respect and love. But I don't know what everybody does, but like if you don't throw for us on the weekend, then we throw to live hitters on Monday. And we want our hitters that didn't. Yeah, we want our starters to get as many live at bats as we can, but we want guys that didn't get the at bats to get at bats too, especially if you're on that bubble of playing or not playing. So that way you'll stay ready. You can't not throw the hitters for 3 weeks and think coach can put you in a game and be successful. It doesn't work that way. So internally, we do little things like that to try to make sure that we are, staying ready for the future. We dress out everybody. We have, we don't have our red shirts in the stands and shorts and t-shirts like you see some people. Maybe it's a big thing, maybe it's not. I don't know. Um, One of the things we did when I first got the job was we made sure every player had a picture and a name on the website, which wasn't always like that, whether you're a red shirt or not. We got you on there. We put every kid in our team picture, which it wasn't like that. I don't believe so. We just changed it to let everybody know their hard work was paying off, and we wanted everybody to know that hey, you're a part of this team. You don't have to hit in the three hole to be on the team. Everybody has a role, and we've just tried really hard to preach that across the board.
There's a lot to being a head coach, right? You're bringing a lot of different philosophies together, and having it all come together is the challenge, right? You talked about a whole lot of things. I think the key is, and you talked about pride, you talked about having the confidence. I've heard a lot of coaches. The challenge is helping these players have that confidence that they can be selfless, right? Baseball is so cool because it's an individual sport, but it's on a team. And when you're in the box, when you're on the mound, wherever it is, you can't rely on anybody else other than yourself. Unlike other sports, right? If somebody else doesn't do something right, if the guy on deck, if he screws up, that has no effect on you in the box. Unlike football, unlike basketball, that you have to really work with your team. So that really is the goal: is bringing these guys together, have that confidence level, but also be selfless enough that what, I've got to make sure that I'm cheering on the next guy up, because we can't switch somebody out. Real quick comment. I don't know if you heard MLB talking about that really, I think, a ridiculous idea of allowing people to pick who they're going to have up to bat. Did you? I thought
Yeah.
that kills the entire idea of what baseball is all about, right? It's the next man up is such a key component, which goes into development, which goes into your philosophy of bringing this team and creating what you're creating, Coach. With this, and you have a history of sticks. You've built a successful program. You're now at the head coach. What are who are some of the people that you've looked at as kind of the mentors? And you mentioned Sheets. I've had Sheets on a number of times. We did a series late last year that we just sat and just, we were just chatting about kind of just what's going on in baseball and what he's doing. So he's such a good guy, a friend of the program. So obviously Sheets is one of them. As you were building and coming out of your college career and building up sticks and getting where you're at, who did you rely on? What who were you looking at as somebody that you wanted to emulate and kind of bring that to what you're doing today?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's uh, there's a couple, because I've been so fortunate that my career has changed paths, right? But when we first started, I think Jeff Petty. Obviously, I love Petty with the Canes. I think
Yep.
Jeff with the schedule and the bus and the uniforms. And I tell him all the time. I have a ton of pictures on my wall, but at the very top, I have me and Jeff, and it's a home plate meeting picture of us when we played Canes National that year. They were number one in the country. Played them in exhibition. We were able to win 2-1, and everybody kept telling us how good the sticks were, and I kept comparing us to Canes, and then to get out there and play well against them, I thought, okay, well maybe we got something here. So I think on the travel ball side, he's been a mentor, an idol, whatever the word is. I think as we were building the sticks, Steve Landers has been a second father to me. He wrote a book recently. He was we wrote a book called Why Play Anywhere Else. It was an Amazon bestseller, but it was how we built the sticks, how we started it. how we did everything in there, and Steve wrote the forward. But Steve, just in life, he's as successful as they come. Him and Kyle Davis have been the biggest mentors to me I could ever have personally. And then as we moved into college, I think obviously Sheets has been a definitely a mentor. He does a class. I don't know like the correct title of it, but he has probably 10 to 20 coaches in at college, high school, and it's kind of like a mentorship program. So I've taken it twice. Just and he gets a bad rap at times, but I think that he's got some Dion in him, who I love. He's got some Calipari in him, who I love. So Sheets has been the baseball version of kind of the guy that people hate, but the kids love, a little bit, which is anytime you're successful, that seems to happen. Very few coaches are successful out there, kids loving them. And unfortunately, when you're very successful, your peers don't seem to love you. So, and then I think, I don't, since I've taken this job, we've obviously, the best part about my job that I never saw coming was, the brotherhood and the mentorship of our athletic office. And I truly mean this. I thought I was going to love X, Y, and Z about being a college coach. The greatest joy I have is going into my office every day, and we have a new athletic director in Ryan Wall, best boss I could ever ask for. We have a new softball coach in Tony McKnight, who played in the big leagues. Tony's awesome, pitched for the Astros, local guy. Darren Brown, Division I basketball coaches, our new men's basketball coaches, become like a brother to me. And Corey Hitchcock, who's our women's basketball coach. And we have other coaches too, but us four, a lot of the basketball assistants. I mean, when you talk about mentors, I don't think any of us know what we're doing. Some are older than others, but we're all in new positions. And when I say none of us know what we're doing, I mean I say that in Kia, but like Coach Wall, RAD, he's been a head coach for 10 years or something, but now he's been AD for, a handful of months. And, Coach Hitchcock's been a head college coach, but now he's coaching girls. So, we're just all in some way or another kind of figuring out life on the fly and kind of being mentors to each other, advice to each other, whatever. And then, so that's been the best part of my job by far, just figuring out the school, the academic side of things, the relationships, hey, this is our bus company. This is, we got to do this. And we have a president, Dr. Alexander, who is just phenomenal. Our enrollment's up 13% since he took over 13 months ago. Obviously, we're going Division II, which is something he's pushing, and so we'll start that in the fall of 28. We believe so. It's been awesome. And then, just to end up the question, I don't want to name drop too much, but, over the past 10 years of Sticks and going into this, I have built relationships with people who I adore. Dave Van Horn, Tony Vitello, Wes Johnson. I mean, guys that you're not supposed to be able to get on the phone, that over the course of the last how many ever years, any question I've had, just young and dumb, or, random conversations at night, about players that have turned into life. Especially with Tony. I mean, I'm so thankful for them. And even guys like Justin Pettigrew at Southern Arkansas, who have, friends that I look at as mentors. I don't know if they look at it that way, but have been so good to me. So I'm so thankful for all the, people that have helped me in my career, whether they knew it or not. Zach Bottoms told me a long time ago, he said, as long as you have good players, you'll have as many friends as you want. And that's really been true. We've had a lot of people along the way be friends while we've had good players. And then the other one I want to say is Jesse Cole. I'm a huge Bananas fan, just from a creativity standpoint and not being afraid to fail. So Jesse is, he was on my podcast, and he's I don't know that we're friends, but we have a relationship, and he's definitely been a mentor and idol as well. So appreciate anybody that's ever helped me along the way. And, hopefully this platform will, encourage people to find mentor. I think we look at mentors as people we have access to, and I don't know that it's always that way, because anybody can search an interview of people they love, or read a book, or read an interview, and you can come away with an idea, because it's not bunting defenses and how to hit behind runners that get you good players. It's how you care about them, and right now social media plays a huge part, and stuff like these podcasts. So hopefully that answered the question.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I appreciate that, Coach. So many good people in the world of baseball. One of the things, Sheets actually, when I was on, I said one of the things I comment all the time is it's like a fraternity of brothers is the coaching world, right? And I said I felt for about a year kind of on the outside rushing this fraternity, and he goes, well, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and then officially welcome you to be part of the fraternity. So I will always appreciate that from him, and it's exciting to I haven't got to talk to everybody that I've wanted to, but man, it's so encouraging because the comparisons, the links between life, business, social with baseball, to me, you can't get a better comparison. The sport of failure is just it's a representation of life, right? Life is about, if you're not failing, I think Clint Hurdle, one of my mentors, he said, if you're not failing, you're not pushing yourself. And so it's like I take that to heart, and it's exactly what baseball is. If you're not losing, you're not playing tough enough teams, right? If you're not striking out, you're not going against the best. And so I think that's just crosses life. So with that, let's talk about the players real quick as we're wrapping up, and just a few minutes left. The type of players. I mean, just listening to you, I know what type of players you're looking for, but what we're looking for is kind of that clip that we can put out there, and when a player sees this, parent sees this, they're going to know exactly what Brewster's looking for at TAMU. What are the type of players you're looking for, sir?
We're no different than anybody else. We're looking for good players. I mean, nobody wakes up and goes, we want to miss on a player. But I think there's skill set, and then there's skill sets of players, and then there's what do they bring off the field. We literally travel kids that I know will not play, that make my job easier. They provide some kind of value to our team. It could be chart, it could be radar, it could be just being an asset to our program without throwing 90 miles an hour. And, some of our best players don't run the fastest, don't throw the hardest, don't jump the highest, and they're in the lineup every day in the 3 and the 4 hole, just because every day they add value somewhere. Now, again, being a 300 hitter is awesome. Throwing 92 miles an hour, awesome. We'd love to have as many of those guys as we could have. But, when we start the metrics of recruiting process on the for high school and junior college, we're looking for guys that want to be Eagles, most and foremost. You know, we know who we are. We're not afraid to recruit against anybody. We have a situation of our facilities in the next, hopefully, 15 months will be as good as anybody in the Midwest. We realize we're not a Division I program. I can't pick if we're recruiting somebody from California, I can't pick up our campus and move it to the West Coast. I can't make us a Division I school. What I can do is treat you how a Division I program would run it. I can treat you right. We can provide instruction and development like you would get at any mid-major institution, and we can give you an academic situation that'll be second to none. And we want guys that want to be here. Does that mean that they have to commit right away, or that we don't offer to guys that don't commit immediately? Absolutely not. What it means to me is when we get the conversations of, well, hey, thanks for the offer, but I'm going to wait till the end of June. Oh, okay, cool. I get in January you want to play out your spring because you've worked really hard in the fall, but we haven't even showed you the campus yet. We haven't done things to even decide if this is a good fit. We have good players all the time that, I'll go, or maybe they'll kind of stay with their body. I go, hey, it's fine. It's fine if this ain't a good fit for you. No big deal. Because baseball's supposed to be fun. When you get here, this is supposed to be a reward. Like, game days are supposed to be the easiest part of all our jobs. We don't want guys that are here in the fall and want to transfer or on their fourth school in 4 years. We don't want guys that get here and are miserable because they don't like the town or the campus, or we want guys for the right reasons. And if we check all those boxes, and you want to be an Eagle, then I think when you go to bed at night, you go, this is awesome. The staff's going to care about me. They're going to be hard on me when I need it. They're going to love me when I need it. They're going to make sure we graduate in 4 years. That's our goal, not to graduate, not to just be eligible to play for 4 years, but to graduate in 4 years. And if you if you want to play with some of the better facilities in the Midwest, and for a guy that's going to get creative with the schedule and the fundraising and the gear, then this is the place for you. And if it's not, that's fine too. It's a lot of places that you can play at a lot of levels. And on a high school guy, we're looking for long-term goals. If we have to play 10 freshmen next year, we won't be very good and I'll lose my job. It's just part of it. If we have to play, if anybody, including junior college coaches, has to play a bunch of freshmen immediately, you're not going to be very good. It's part of it. Doesn't mean some won't play. Our three hole right now is a 19-year-old freshman that's hitting 520 through 13 games. It happens. But we can't play all of them. We're not going to play all of them. We commit. But how do we play them over the next 4 years so that way we don't have to keep overturning our roster every 2 years with junior college players? Everybody wants older players. Division One, NAIA, high school coaches, everybody wants older players. But my thing is we can still take these 18-year-old high school kids and they'll be 21 one day.
Exactly.
They don't have to go to junior college or the portal to wake up one day and be 21. We can get them ready to play at 2021 without going to get kids at junior college that may have played well but don't have a good culture situation, may have played well but we didn't realize they were selfish, may can't be academically eligible at our place. With us going Division II in a year, like a junior we bring in will have one set of standards this next year for NAI, and then a senior year will have to have a different set of academic situations. So we have to be careful. And to avoid all that, we could go get really good high school players that we could mold over the next 3 or 4 years. But we have to tell them that in their recruiting process. If they think, oh, if I don't play my first year, I'm out. I'm going to go. I want to play 4 years. Well, I want you to play all 4 years, but it doesn't happen. It doesn't. There's great players that it doesn't happen. There's big leaguers that didn't play all 4 years. So we're looking for kids that have. I think to sum it all up, we're looking for kids that want to be here. We're looking for kids that want to have long-term goals. If you're very short-sighted and you want to be a 4-year starter and get a 4-year degree in your first semester of college, we're not the place for you. I tell kids on their visit all the time. I say, do you cook? And they'll go, yeah, I cook. What do you cook? And they'll tell me something that sounds awful for dinner. And I go, you cook it in the oven or the microwave? And they always say the microwave. Always. I go, tastes good? It's okay. Will it be better in the oven? Yeah, it'll be better in the oven. We're an oven program.
There you go.
If you want a really good dinner, you got to cook in the oven. It's going to taste better in the oven. It's a longer process. It takes more time, but it tastes better. That's what we are. We're an oven program that are looking for kids that want to be a part of that.
Coach, that was great. You know what? You got the highlight of the whole podcast was the last minute. So I appreciate the opportunity to hear that. An oven program. It takes a little bit longer, but it's a whole heck of a lot better. Coach, it's been an honor. Coach Brewster, Chase Brewster out of TAMU down in Texarkana. Coach, thanks a lot for being on Are You in the Book podcast. We appreciate it. You have a great day.
Absolutely.